It's been a busy offseason for York United. In December, a fresh new look was unveiled with the rebrand, but I'm sure the work continues. And who better to ask about all of the inner workings of York United than their head coach and technical director, Jim Brennan, who joins me, Adam Jenkins, and Oliver Platt here on OneSoccer Today. Jim, let's begin with the roster. York United will obviously be without some key pieces from last year's squad, the likes of Aparicio, Di Chiara, Gasparotto, Donor among them. How do you fill those voids?
Listen, it's going to be a loss losing players like that. They were great for us. Obviously, with Gus, there was a lot of discussions that went on behind the scenes of what he was thinking and what the next step would be going forward to make the squad stronger. And we feel we got some good players that have come in. It's always going to be difficult when the foreigners come in because you're not too sure how they're going to settle in. But we're very happy with the young players as well that we have. We think there's a huge upside for these young boys, and they just need opportunities. They need to be playing football. And it's a shame that we're dealing with this COVID right now because, this is such a crucial period for these players that are 18, 19, 20 years old. They need to be getting games under their belt. And for a year and a half now to say that they've only played 7 matches or maybe 3 or 4, we're really hindering their progress. So we've got a lot of work ahead of us to get everybody up to par, to get these guys back where they need to be. But with the squad, it's going to be a challenge, and it's something that we're looking forward to now. We've never really shied away from a challenge in the past, and we think we've got a good group, and it's just now getting everybody onto the same page. Hopefully, we've got a more of a pre-season than what we had going into that Prince Edward Island tournament there. I mean, I call it a tournament because it was 7 games, but it wasn't realistic. And if we can get these players in and have a good 6 to 8 week preseason where we can really work and get some games going into the season, work on tactics, I think you're going to see a big difference with the squad.
Yeah, how important is that going to be, just given, particularly in midfield and attack, you have got a lot of international guys coming in. Obviously, they don't know each other, maybe a few different languages in there. How challenging is it going to be to kind of build an attack out of so many new faces and players coming in from all over the world?
It's a challenge because you've got to sit down, you've got to figure out what's their strengths. How do they settle? How do they fit in with the team? Normally, on average, they say when a foreigner comes in, it normally takes them about 1.5 years before they truly settle into a team, into a country. Because where they're coming from is completely different lifestyle to what we lead. You're also bringing in players into the big smoke, Toronto, which I've seen over the years. It's grabbed players and it's brought the worst out of them because all of a sudden now they're in the bright lights. It's a city that has a lot of energy and a lot going on, and it's trying to look after those players now and make them stay focused on football. So it is a lot of work when you bring foreigners into the city and into these clubs. But like I said, we've just got to figure out exactly where they fit in, what their strengths are, sit down with them, understand their characteristics, and it's our job to get the best out of these players and get them to buy into what we're doing.
Mm-hmm. I think it's pretty universally felt across every player in the world dealing with these pandemic restrictions is that they just want to play. So having said that, one of your men who is playing right now is Didi Nabzi. So first of all, I'd just like to get a quick reaction from you on him being named as an alternate to the team and then due to injury being called up. Maybe we see him tonight, and how important that will be to getting him back to his form from year one.
This is look, for me, this is part of our job as coaches within this league, is to get these young Canadians, the diamonds in the rough, and develop them and get them playing first team football and create that bigger pool for the national team. You look, a year and a half, 2 years ago, he was playing local football in Quebec, and all of a sudden now he's got some 30-odd games under his belt as a pro, and he's getting into the under 23 Olympic team. So, that's a progression that we're looking to get out of our young players. And it's a joy to see because it shows that the hard work that you're putting in on and off the field, the players are buying into it because they've got their own agendas of where they want to go. And we've got to help them and give them every resource to be successful and get them to play at the highest level and playing for our national team.
Jimmy, obviously one of the biggest signings anyone's made in the CPL this offseason is DOMINICK ZATOR coming in from Cavalry. When you look at Chris Novick-Ensa coming in, you look at Abzi, Roger Thompson, Giantsopoulos obviously joining in goal as well. Do you feel like you can put that defensive group up against pretty much anyone else in the CPL right now? Yeah,
you'd like to think so. I mean, I think it's going to be a good partnership for Big Raj. Dominick's a great player. He's a good leader. He's comfortable with the ball at his feet. He's got good size, reads the game well, good in the air, and he's dangerous on set plays. So we think it was a great signing for us. It's going to add some more strength in the back. And don't get me wrong, Luca Gasparotto was we were obviously disappointed. He decided to retire and move on with his life because we felt Luca was very good for us as well. But we think this will be a good replacement with Dominic ZATOR coming in. And Ensa, you can see Ensa's developing now, and he's turning into a young man. When you watch him play, he's got great physique. He's not scared to back out of a challenge. And he'll join attack when he has to. He's a solid defender, and then you got Abzi on the other side, who's really settled into that role as a left back. And I know you were talking about, can we get him back into that form? And that's where I go back to saying we need a good preseason. You look at that tournament again, the amount of players that were dropping like flies with cramps, and because people weren't prepared. And if we can get that proper preseason in, get games under the belt, and get them going into a season fully fit, I think you'll see a difference as well with Abzi and a lot of the players across the league. The standard will definitely increase and bring it back to where it was in the first year.
Well, Jimmy, we're certainly crossing our fingers that the return to training and just more positive news continues to roll out, and we can get a date where we know that the CPL is returning. Just want to thank you so much for spending some time with us today on what's a very exciting day. We always appreciate seeing you, catching up, and just hearing about your experiences and just sharing it with us. So thanks, Jimmy.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Thanks for having me, guys. All the best.